And this is our setup for last night. We're doing our Shakedown camp tour. We spent April 2nd, the night of April the 2nd here at Catawissa Lake Glory Campground. And we're pulling our Rockwood A122S with our minivan. And it already had a hitch on there. It had a four-prong plug? But we bought an adapter to switch it out to a 7. And then we had a brake controller installed this last week, so that it controls the brakes, so it won't charge the battery when we're on the road, but you know what, it does everything else. And we're not real super rustic campers anyway, so I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. Plus we can plug it in at home, back in our driveway, and that'll charge the battery for us just fine. And so this is our setup. We're at space 116. It's just very lovely. It's right by the fence that goes back to the cabins that folks can stay in. And let me show you a little bit more of our setup. And then we're newbies, so I'm certainly not an expert with this. You can see my shadows long it is in the morning. And it's frosty out here. It got real cold last night. We started yesterday evening with our Cool Cat heat pump, which worked beautifully. And then we also had a little supplemental ceramic heater, which died, by the way, last night. But we turned on our propane furnace, and it just kept us all warm and cozy. So here's our setup on the services side. We did plug in a 30 amp Knobles here. There you can see we have our surge protector plugged in, and it gave us the green light. And so we plugged our 30 amp cord into that. There's also a 20 amp or 15 amp, I think it's 20 amp. Yep, you can see down in there it's got a 20 amp plug as well. And there are the breakers and stuff like that. And so it looks like the electrical boxes will level it up a little bit using leveling blocks. But thanks to all the videos that folks have been posting, it wasn't bad. And then we aren't practiced at backing up trailers, and so we watched a wonderful video. I'll have to post a link down below for newbie campers. A wonderful video on tips on backing up a camper, and we watched that, and that really helped out. And so we made it through here without too much swearing. Well, there was some swearing and yelling, but and we used our cell phones as that as our communication device. So that's how the setup is on this side. And here's the door side of Dwayne, and you can see we got our bottom bundle of those plastic blocks that you can use for leveling. And so we've got those underneath our stabilizer jacks. And it was real stable in there. We left it hooked to our van just because we're here for the night and didn't want to bother with unhooking and trying to rehook in the morning, or actually when we leave about lunchtime here. And so there it is. We have not de-winterized. It's still too cold in Pennsylvania to do that. And so we still have our Vienna freeze in our water system. So we didn't use our water system. We just brought water in with us. It worked out pretty well. It's not like we're going to shower today after one day. Anyway, I have some wet wipes in there that can, do some spot cleaning with, if you know what I mean. And so it worked out really well. So the propane worked out really good. It has an auto switch over. And so we read instructions on how to operate that, and we turned it to our first tank. And then it auto switches over if that tank runs out based on the pressure. And so I haven't seen if the tank has run out yet during the night. Probably hasn't. I think the furnaces are pretty, fairly efficient, and the space is small, so I don't think that's a problem. We didn't set up any outdoor accoutrements and stuff like that. It was really windy and stuff last night. So my husband went down to the lake, enjoyed some fishing. He caught a few, and I stayed inside and enjoyed some television. So I'm really an indoor girl, as my channel says. So I really enjoyed that. I think everybody should be able to enjoy being at the campground in their own way. I'm sure that when it gets warmer out, and I really don't like cold, but when it gets warmer out, that I'll be outside around the fire with my family and my husband, and enjoying life a little bit. And now it's time to chillax. We got everything set up, and the camper backed in and popped up without filing for divorce. That's always contentious. It is for everybody. And I got everything set up sided. That seems to work well in here. And so there's my kitchenette set up, and you can see I washed dishes. We haven't de-winterized yet, so I heated up a little water in the microwave in that bowl to wash dishes in, and put a drop or two of Dawn dishwashing liquid, and then I used my pop-up tub with a tiny amount of water in it to rinse them off. And you can see our food in the bin back there. And so we're all set up for the night. The heat pump is working great, but it's going to be too cold here in Pennsylvania on April 2nd pretty soon for the heat pump to work well. And so we'll turn on the furnace. We did bring a little supplemental ceramic heater to kind of extend it a little bit because we want to make sure we don't run out of propane in the middle of the night. I think we're good, but want to be just for sure. And it is quite windy out today, but you know what? This little camper's as tight as a bug. We haven't put the insulation up in the eaves. We brought some like tubular pipe wrap that fits up in there, but it seems to be pretty tight, so we've been pretty happy with it so far. It's a little chilly over here in the bed, but you know what? I'll take it. But so far it's a good night. Right, go to it. This is my hubby popping down the camper. So you do the front latch first, and then the back latch, you do them in counterclockwise direction. You can see that just folds right in there. And then he's going to turn around. He's going to close the bottom door. Bottom door. Oop, there we go. And then he's going to pop the inside latch on that and hold the top of the door. There we go. Beautiful. And then he might need my help with this next part. All right, shut both doors. Beautiful. I've seen where some people use that top one as a Dutch door, and they put a skeeter screen over it. He's just going to go ahead and latch the bottom before we forget. All right. There's the regular bolt and the deadbolt. All right. Do you need help?
Should be able to do it.
Okay. Lift to release. There's bungees up there to assist. There it comes down. Easy cheesy piece of cake. Then we're going to latch these latches. And then we make sure everything's secure, and we get the step up and pull up all of the stabilizer jacks.